when our design has been created and the source has been defined, the next step is going to be to define our requests. Requests are all of the API calls we're going to make against the target system to pull back data that will then later be turned into objects. Every design has to have at least one request defined in order for any objects to be made. So in order to create a request, the first thing we do is select Add, and that will take us to the request form. The first step of the request form is asking about chaining options. And chaining options or chaining is when you take one particular request and use data from its response to trigger additional requests, maybe a different URL. So we'll come into that in another video, but in this case, we're going to skip past it. The next step is to define the API path to pull back data from. We can see at the very bottom here, we're including all of the information we specified in the source, like the host name and that base API path. So the API path we're specifying only needs to be the specific details of the path we want to access. The request name, which is how it will be referenced in other parts of the design, is going to default to the API path. But you can change this to anything that you want that makes it easier to remember what this request represents. This advanced section allows you to specify any headers, query parameters, or body that you need for the specific request. Keep in mind that anything in the global request headers we defined in the source are already going to be applied here. So our basic auth header, that sort of thing, we do not need to specify that again. And then the last step is just to test the request. And also this response data that we see here will be used to allow us to create those metrics. And these will serve as sample values in the Management Pack Builder app. So you can see those here, and you can still look through the rest of the logging to make sure everything looks the way you expect.